Hey fam, welcome to Babbling Tat. I'm your host Tat, and this is a show where we talk about everything: healing, mental health, growth, and all the messy, wonderful stuff in between. I want to start off by saying thank you for being here, wherever you are and whatever you're doing right now. Thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. Today's episode is one that's deeply personal and powerful, not just for me, but for anyone out there who feels stuck, afraid, or unsure about living life on their own terms. Today, we're talking about writing yourself permission slips. Yep, permission slips, just like the ones we needed as kids to go on field trips. But these slips, these ones are written by you, for you, and they're about taking your power back to live the life you want as the person you want to be. So many of us are waiting for permission from someone else to start living authentically, to start doing things we want to do as the person we want to be. Maybe it's permission from society, our families, our friends, or maybe it's that little voice in our head saying, you're not ready, you're underqualified, or my frequent flyer, who do you think you are? Hear that one way too often. But what if I told you that the only person who can give you permission to live your best life is you? It might seem a little silly, like, yeah, it's my life, I do what I want, but be real with yourself. Just for a second, just be real with yourself. Do you really? Or are you holding back because there's a lingering permission slip somewhere off in the distance that you're waiting to get signed? And that's what we're diving into today. How to stop waiting, start giving yourself the green light, and to take back control of your life. For a long time, most of my life really, I felt like I was stuck in this cycle of doing what was expected of me rather than what actually made me happy. I was being what society said I should be, doing the things I was told I was supposed to do, following a narrow, timetabled life path. I checked the boxes. I did the things I thought I was supposed to do. I tried to be who I was told I needed to be. I tried to do the things that were supposed to make me feel happy and feel fulfilled. And no matter what, I still felt like I was falling short. Like I was just doing it wrong. Like something was just missing. Eventually, I started to think I was the problem. Imagine that. Then eventually I realized I wasn't living for myself, that I didn't even know who I was, that I was living for everyone else as everyone else wanted me to be. And that was the problem. Looking back, it's clear and easy to see, but in the thick of it, it's not easy to recognize. And it's a whole other ballgame to acknowledge it, take your power back, and forge your own path. It wasn't until I actually sat down, grabbed a piece of paper, and literally wrote myself a permission slip that things started to finally change. That first act of putting my intention into words was so liberating. It was like giving myself a big bear hug and saying, hey Tat, you're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to dream big. You're allowed to live differently and be different than what others expect of you. And I want you to have that moment with yourself too. As many times as you need it. As many times as you need it. Actually, writing yourself permission slips might sound silly or ridiculous, but it's incredibly symbolic. Putting the words down acknowledges that you are the author of your life story, something that so many of us easily lose sight of in the day-to-day hustle and juggling act of life. Each permission slip you write is a declaration of your power, a way of saying, I don't need external validation, I'm choosing this for me. I matter too. It could be something as small like giving yourself permission to rest when you're tired, or something big like chasing a dream that feels impossible. Whatever it is, big or small, that slip is your way of saying, I am worthy of this, because you are worthy of it all. Now, how do you even write a permission slip for yourself? The who, what, when, where, and the why. And the how. Yeah. Don't worry, easy does it. Grab a piece of paper, open your notes app, whatever works for you. Take a breath, then write, I give myself permission to, and fill in the blank. Be specific and be intentional. For example, I give myself permission to say no to things that drain my energy. I give myself permission to explore my creative passions without judgment. I give myself permission to take care of myself before taking care of everyone else. Once you've written it, read it out loud. Feel the weight of those words. You're not just writing something down, you're claiming it as your truth. So own it and claim it. But here's the important part. Don't just write it, say it, and forget it. Live it. Keep that permission slip somewhere you'll see it. on your desk, your mirror, your phone wallpaper, your car, whatever keeps it front and center, or at least quick and easy to find when you need it. Use it as a reminder that you've already said yes to yourself. You've already given yourself that permission. It's okay to need a reminder of it. If you find yourself slipping back into old habits, because we are human, give yourself grace for being human and write yourself another one, and another one, and another one. As many times as you need. There is no limit on how many permission slips you can give yourself. I write myself permission slips every single day. Every single day. And I am telling you, the limit does not exist. It's hard to remember that reclaiming your power is a process. As much as I wish it was like a flip of the switch, it does take time and it takes repetition, and it is A-OK. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're rewiring your brain and unlocking your soul. Yes, it'll take time and effort and energy, but I promise you that you are worth that time, that effort, and that energy. Your happiness is worth it. Future you is worth it. After this episode, I want you to take a couple minutes and write yourself a permission slip, or maybe even a few. Think about some area of your life where you've been holding back, where you've been waiting for someone else to tell you that it's okay. Then tell yourself that it is more than okay. It is absolutely necessary. Give yourself permission. And if you're comfortable with it, share it with me on Instagram at xxtatqueenxx or at Babbling Tat Podcast. I'd absolutely love to cheer you on. Taking your power back isn't always easy, but it's one of the most worthwhile things you'll ever do. You deserve to live a life that feels authentic and joyful down to your core. And it starts with giving yourself permission to show up exactly as you are. Right here, right now, exactly as you are. I'm rooting for you. Always. Until next time, keep embracing the babble. And don't forget, the world is truly a better place with you in it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you shared it with a friend or shared it on your socials and tagged me in the show. I'd love to hear what resonated with you and what you want to hear next. Connect with the podcast directly on Instagram at Babbling Tat Podcast, or connect with me at xxtatqueenxx on Instagram. You can also visit my website, tatscorner.com, for more resources, info about P3, to shop RDC, read the blog, or just to stay connected. All the links are down in the description. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side.